I remember when training camp opened up, spring training, 5, 6 weeks ago. I was looking at it and saying, yeah, middle of February, 6 weeks until opening day. But man, that sure went fast. And here we are. Spring training in the books. It's time to get ready for the opener. Talk about the starting pitching as well. All that on this episode of Locked On Brewers.
You are Locked On Brewers, your daily Milwaukee Brewers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Brewers went 16-14-1 in the Cactus League and finished up on Monday with a 4-2 win over Colorado. There's some good, some bad. There was some ugly in spring training, but you wash all that away. None of that matters anymore. Vinny Capra, 292, 6 home runs, 14 RBIs. That doesn't matter. Jackson Chourio, 469, a home run, 22 hits, the best of the Brewers. That doesn't matter anymore. Freddy Peralta giving up 10 runs on Saturday. That doesn't matter anymore. It's time to get back. It's time to get down to business. As, even Cortes, 5 innings, pitched 5 Ks. That doesn't matter. Wipe it all that clean. It's time to get on to Thursday at Yankee Stadium. But it was a pretty good spring training for the Brewers. We'll get to all this coming up next. Chuck Freeman, Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. This episode is brought to you by the good folks over at FanDuel. FanDuel is America's #1 sports book right now. New customers, $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Right now, new customers, $200 in bonus bets. Hit that $5 bet at FanDuel. All right. And by the way, Chuck Freeman, thanks for joining us here on Locked On Brewers. When I say successful, well, they did have a few injuries. Okay, they had some injuries coming in. DL Hall, Ashby got hurt along the way, and they're down Tobias Myers. Brewers still don't know who their 4th and 5th starters are going to be right now. They had a plan going in. They sort of had a plan, but that has been blown up by injuries. We'll get to that coming up here in a little bit. Some of the positives, again, Vinny Capra, who, again, nobody would have landed on that bingo card over the winter, that Vinny Capra and Oliver Dunn would be your platoon over at third base. Somebody tweeted at me today, or was it last night? It might have been, and they're right on. When you have to platoon at one position, that means you have no real clear-cut guy you want to use there, right? I mean, if the Brewers had themselves one guy over at third base, they wouldn't have to platoon this guy against righties, this guy against lefties. But Oliver Dunn and Capra, that's your platoon over at third base right now. That's how it's worked out. Monasterio got sent down. I'm not saying he's not going to work in. I think Monasterio will definitely be up. Maybe Ortiz plays third base sometime if they have to shuffle around the infield, although I don't think they're moving Terang from second base. But maybe Capra plays some shortstop. I don't know. You just never, with Pat Murphy, I've learned the one thing about him is you never know what direction he's going to go in. I mean, who would have guessed toward the end of spring training he was going to go with Terang at shortstop and say, this is where we're going to go? All off season to plan that, and that's where they landed on. So you never know. But that's part of the charm with Pat Murphy is he's unconventional. He's unconventional, and that's what worked, at least in year one with 93 wins. It was good. I mean, Nestor Cortes, I downplayed it that he went to 5 innings, and they were scoreless. He struck out 5, but that's good to see. Nestor Cortes will be opening up in Game 2 in New York because they have the Friday off. They'll play Thursday, Friday off, and then Saturday in New York. And it doesn't look like rain, although it's going to be temperatures in the low 50s, it sounds like, on Friday in New York. But at least Cortes goes in on a winning note. Also, Ortiz hit 341 in spring training. Thought that was solid for him. Ortiz, furthermore on that infield shift between second and short, between Terang and Ortiz, could they be looking to move Ortiz down the road, and I'm not saying not right now, but could the ultimate plan be for Terang to play short and Caleb Durbin to play second base? Is that why they made the move right there to put Terang over at short and Ortiz maybe as a trade chip down the line? I don't know. I'm just saying if they don't really feel that Ortiz is in their plans and they like Durbin more, could that have been the reason why they moved Terang to short and Terang is their long-term guy and maybe Ortiz, they don't know yet? We don't know. They're not telling us. But that was the thought I had today, that maybe Durbin is their long-term second baseman. Terang the short, and maybe you trade Ortiz down the road, that he doesn't fit into their plans, or maybe you get something else as far as a package deal involving Ortiz. That's just something I thought about, because I'm like, why the heck would they move Terang over to shortstop? Maybe that's a possibility. Trade talk in the future. Sal Frelick, Jack Stern tweeted this out. The exit velocity on Frelick's balls this year, 91.8, including he had the hardest hit exit, the average exit velocity, 91.8, including the hardest hit ball he's ever had on exit velocity. And you contribute that to maybe hitting the weights, eating right, gaining the 25 pounds over the winter. But that was from Jack Stern. Predictions, I'm going to go a little bit more in detail here before we get to opening day. But I'm thinking right now 87 wins. 88 wins maybe. I still have them winning the division. My opinion, they're still the division champs. And Terang sounds like he's going to be ready to go for opening day in New York with the Yanks. So we'll see. Let's get to the starting pitching. We'll get to the starting pitching coming up next. Some interesting things about the starting pitching. I already told you that the fourth and fifth starters right now, although there were options before, now we have no idea who's the fourth and fifth starters. In other words, you got to get through the Yankees before we get to the Royals next Monday. We'll get to that coming up next. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers. Part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Just Ingredients. Got my bags of Just Ingredients shipped in here. And when it comes to fueling your body, quality matters. And that's where Just Ingredients comes in. They're changing the game. Clean, high-quality products designed to support better health and peak performance. We all want clean. We all want peak performance. And we all want that better health. And that's what you get from Just Ingredients. It offers NSF certified line of protein powder, electrolytes, pre-workout, and creatine, all rigorously tested to ensure they're free from substances banned by major athletic organizations. They've partnered with two-time MVP Bryce Harper, who trusts their sports line to fuel his training and recovery. Clean, transparent ingredients, fueling your performance and making you better as you working out. Maybe like me, and I work out in the off season. I try to do so in season, but work out in the off season for golf, getting a better swing. Just Ingredients can help you in that area. In fact, right now, justingredients.us, that's their website, justingredients.us. Use the promo code LOCKDOWNMLB, 20% off right now. And for the wellness tips that they offer there, go to their Instagram account at just.ingredients. That's Just Ingredients. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers. Good to have you along here on a Monday. Opening day is coming up Thursday. I've been watching the weather. No rain coming up on Thursday. You know how that can change. It seems like the weather we get in Wisconsin eventually floats over to New York's way out on the East Coast. But they say right now only 50-degree temperatures out there. You'll take the 50 degrees. We've had opening days in Milwaukee before Miller Park, AmFam Field, before the roof, where we've had 30-degree temperatures. I'll tell you about one coming up here a little bit later on, an anniversary of a special player who came to Milwaukee 50 years ago. We'll tell that toward the end of the podcast. Let's get to the starting rotation. How about that? The Brewers last year, they have a penchant for giving up the home run ball. They were 7th in baseball at giving up the home run ball last year. 7th in baseball. I know it's a home run hitter's park. They were 4th in the National League. 7th in baseball, 4th in the National League. And one of the guys who did give up a lot of home runs, Freddy Peralta. Freddy Peralta coming off an 11-9 season, a 3.68 earned run average, 20 Ks. Freddy Peralta, 28 years old. 21 was when he made his major league debut, 2018, May of 2018 in Colorado. 13 strikeouts that day. I believe it was Mother's Day that day. 13 Ks. Freddie will be at the top of the rotation. We've said all along, we know Freddie's not an ace. And somebody asked me today, I was on a show I was on, does Freddie have to pitch like an ace? Well, you'd like for him to, but he's not an ace on this team. He is not an ace. I'll tell you who the only ace on this team is. We'll get to that coming up here in a little bit. Cortes. I think Cortes has got the ability to throw ace-like stuff some days. He, too, gives up a lot of home runs. Gave it the big one to Freddie Freeman last year. I'm looking at 15 wins for Nestor Cortes. Did I set the bar too high? Cortes, did I set it too high for him? I think he can get there. Interesting start at Yankee Stadium for his first start as a Brewer coming up after giving up that home run to Freddie Freeman. But I think he's going to be solid in that number 2 hole. Left-hander, I like him. I like Nestor Cortes. I know he's not here for a long time, but he's here for a good time this year. This time, Milwaukee, 1 year, Nestor Cortes. Let's get the most out of him for 1 year. And obviously, if he has a good year, and by God, I hope not, but I hope that the Brewers are in the pennant race. But if they're not, he could be a candidate he'd be for sure a candidate if he's having a good year to be dealt somewhere. Without a question, he'd be a candidate. But last year, 9-10, 3.77 earned run average, 162 Ks. I gave the 24 home runs at 174 innings pitched. Civale, another guy, loves getting up the home run ball. $8 million, got him on the cheap. 31 starts, he went 8-9 last year between Milwaukee and Tampa. I thought I gave him some great starts when he got traded here. Really good starts. Again, the home run ball bothers me a little bit with all 3 of these guys, Peralta, Cortes, and Civale at the top of the rotation. But I like Civale, middle of that rotation. Nice middle of the rotation guy, considering the $8 million. Tobias Myers. Well, he's going to start the year on the injured list. Probably late April, he'll be able to pitch again. Sounds like he was pain-free when he played catch the other day, last Friday. 9-6, 3.00 earned run average. He was their best pitcher. He was their most valuable pitcher, a guy nobody even heard of a year ago this time, but emerged. They brought him up here for a couple of starts. He stuck with the team, and he was great. But he'll start the year on the injured list with that oblique muscle, and hopefully he'll be back in late April. He's got another month or so, and he'll go through the rehab starts and all that. Quintana, is Quintana the ace? No, he's not. They don't have an ace in the starting 5 as of right now. But he brings in with him some veteran leadership. Did have a big workload last year with the New York Mets, a real big workload, where he had an ERA of under 4 for the 3rd year in a row. 36 years old, as I mentioned, 13 years in the league. But he's a guy, I mean, what a great price. They got him for just under $5 million a year on a 1-year deal. Jose Quintana. Love him in that 5th spot, at least right now going into the season. I like what I see. Well, who's my only ace? And if he gets healthy, you guessed it, Brandon Woodruff. Brandon Woodruff pitched 2 innings in a minor league game last Friday. He's going to pitch in some bullpen in New York for this first series, a simulated game in Milwaukee after that, and then he's going to go on his minor league rehab. No timetable yet for Brandon Woodruff. No timetable whatsoever. But Brandon Woodruff, so far, pain-free. His next session, he'll throw a bullpen in New York, and we'll see how that goes. A few other guys talk about who could be possible candidates as the 4th or 5th starter on this team, at least early in the season. because this is where the Brewers are at this point because of injuries. Aaron Ashby, one of them. You will not see him starting the season. And he'll be out for probably the first month, I would guess. I think Ashby wants to be a starter. It's anybody's guess whether he's going to be a starter or a reliever. It is. And we'll see. And it hinges on a few different things. I mean, right now, if he was healthy, he might start one of those. He would probably for sure be either the fourth or fifth starter, but he's not healthy. So he missed out on an opportunity. DL Hall, who knows when he'll come back. I think he was a candidate as well. But DL Hall, obviously, he came into camp with a lat injury, and he's on the 60-day injured list and probably going to start the season in the bullpen. But I thought if he came to camp healthy, him and Ashby would have been competing for that number 5 spot. The guy who I think has got a shot at the 5th spot and the 4th spot, Tyler Alexander. Just a terrible year last year with Tampa. Gives up home run balls like they're going out of business. ERA of over 5 last year with Tampa. Tyler Alexander, 30 years old, journeyman. Maybe they can get a couple of starts out of him. We'll see. Also a left-hander. Another guy who could make a start or two, Elvin Rodriguez, 26 years old, has never won a major league game yet. He's got an ERA of near 10 for his career. So spring training, 1-2, an ERA near 8. Pitched in Japan, most recently in Japan. Brewers signed him for a 1-year deal with a 1-year option. Elvin Rodriguez, this is about opportunity. You might have a shot. I mean, you could be starting on opening day in Milwaukee next Thursday. Isn't that funny? Next Monday, biggest day in Milwaukee, which is always opening day. For a number of different reasons, it's a big day. It's also amateur day, like some people have caught it at AmFam Field. People who go to opening day don't even care about watching the game, yet they go to the game just for the party. All right, whatever. Elvin Rodriguez might be your starting pitcher that day. Robert Gasser, Tommy John, August, if anything, this year for him. God, I'd love to see Woodruff earn a spot. But I think the guys who you're going to see in that 4th and 5th spot toward the back end could be Tyler Alexander, could be Elvin Rodriguez, could be looking to get an opener in that game. Could bullpen. I don't think this early in the season you want to go 6 or 7 guys, 5 or 6 guys out of your bullpen for opening day. Not that you want to use that as a throwaway game. I mean, opening day, you want to put your best foot forward on opening day. But I'm saying early in the season, you don't want to have this guy pitch 2 innings and this guy 3 innings and this guy 2 innings. You don't want to do that. I don't think so. So I think you could have an opener. And then you could, wasn't Junis the opener last year on opening day at AmFam Field? I think Jacob Junis was, yeah. But you could see an opener again. Tyler Alexander, Elvin Rodriguez take up one of those back 2 spots. Woodruff's not going to be healthy. The thought is Quintana going to be ready? He's built up to 3-4 innings right now. Doesn't sound like it. I would say maybe the Colorado series, or who knows, the series before that. I believe they take on the Reds after the Royals are out of here in their second home series, which would be a second weekend of the season. Maybe he's going to pitch there. I think that's $1 million question. Is Jose Quintana going to pitch on opening day for Milwaukee? I would say as of right now, no, but we'll see. We come back, opening day 50 years ago. 50 years ago. I was a real little kid, but I was at that game, and that was a landmark game on opening day. We'll get to that coming up next here on Locked On Brewers. Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Right now, new customers with FanDuel, you get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. 200 extra bucks. Use on everything. Buzzer beaters, Cinderella stories. You like a play that's losing, in the first half, or it's a tight game, there you go. Your odds are going to be better. Maybe like Duke coming up Thursday when they're playing Arizona. I think they're 5.5 point favorite. Well, maybe Arizona takes the early lead. That line comes down a little bit. You like Duke. That's what I love. I love the live lines that they have on FanDuel. So whether you pick the favorites, pick an underdog, pick a favorite that's turned into an underdog, get it all on FanDuel, FanDuel.com. Get on all the college hoops action. There's tournaments going on, the NIT and some of these other small tournaments this week. They're even going on during the afternoon. But, of course, with baseball coming up too, you're going to have afternoon baseball, college hoops action, all tournament long, all weekend long. Get in. Get new customers, $200 in bonus bets. When your $5 bet wins, visit FanDuel, FanDuel.com. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. And by the way, you get our podcast on Google, Spotify, Apple, wherever you download your audio podcast. We are there. Thanks for all the nice comments, too. Appreciate you. A lot of you made some nice comments here on YouTube, supporting the page, and of course on Twitter. You always find me on Twitter, as you see it on YouTube right there. Chuck Freeman, FREIMUND, Chuck Freeman. You can always DM me. I'll get back to you. Might not be right away, within a couple of minutes, but I will definitely get back to you. We'll have a convo about anything you like or anything you want to ask me. We'll talk some Brewers baseball with you. I'm here for you all season. I'm always here for you guys. You're here in this sports community, Locked On Brewers. And by the way, again, Google, Spotify, Apple, we're on all the major downloads, wherever you download your podcast. We're the #1 Brewers podcast on the internet. And our growing YouTube page. Search Locked On Brewers on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that bell. That'll alert you every time we drop an episode here on Locked On Brewers. So what happened 50 years ago today? My dad picked me up from grade school. I was really, really young. So I didn't know any better. My dad told me to duck as we drove out of the neighborhood. My dad said he wrote a note that he was taking me to the dentist. I had a dentist appointment when in reality I was going to opening day at County Stadium. 30-degree temperatures. We sat in the bleachers and welcomed back Henry Aaron back to Milwaukee, who played with the Milwaukee Braves. He was the home run champ. Many still think he is the home run champ, although it's Barry Bonds technically. But Henry Aaron, who came back to Milwaukee, saluted the fans, tipped his hat. They sang "Welcome Home, Henry," which I thought was kind of cheesy, but they did it to the tune of "Hello, Dolly." But the Brewers made a trade with Atlanta in the offseason. In 1974, Aaron broke the home run record, Babe Ruth's home run record. Aaron wanted to keep on playing. The Braves had other plans. They wanted to retire Henry and give him a front office job. Aaron wanted to play. Braves traded him to Milwaukee. Brewers gave up Davey May, one of their outfielders. And Aaron played 2 seasons here, 75 and 76. But I remember going to opening day in 1975, and Henry Aaron was playing ball for the Milwaukee Brewers. My first game, Henry Aaron. And also that day, Frank Robinson was managing the Cleveland Indians, and that was in one of the first days of him managing the then Cleveland Indians. And he was the first Major League African-American manager, Frank Robinson, 1975. And managed the Cleveland Indians and managed a few other teams, had a great Hall of Fame baseball career, but that was also, he was a few games into the season because I believe Cleveland had a few games before coming to Milwaukee. But that was also a big deal that day with Frank Robinson managing Cleveland. But Henry Aaron stole the show 50 years ago in a couple of days. Henry Aaron returned to Milwaukee as a member of the Milwaukee Brewers. Opening day coming up in a couple of days, everybody. Oh, and by the way, in that 75 year, Aaron's numbers were very down. 76 too, although I remember one game in 76, he did hit a game-winning home run in the back end of a doubleheader, second game, a game-winning home run, like in the bottom of the 11th inning, I want to say, to beat Texas. I was at that game. I think I saw one of Aaron's last home runs in the summer of 76. But I was a real little kid. was a real little kid, could appreciate it as much as I would now. But I had to give you that story. That's going to do it. Locked On Brewers. Thanks, everybody, for joining us, making us your first listen to every day here on Locked On Brewers. Again, we're going to try to drop some weekend episodes, depending. I'd like to do it on weekends. It's just a matter of what's going on. For sure, during the week, Monday through Friday, we're here talking Brewers baseball with you. Sunday nights, we try to drop it maybe about 10 o'clock at night after the afternoon game. So we'll definitely be in touch, keeping you up to date with everything going on with Milwaukee Brewers baseball right here on Locked On Brewers. My name is Chuck Freeman. You've been listening to Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. So long, everybody.